Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, we're going to be talking about the recent breakout that Bitcoin has had by flipping its 50-day moving average. This is something I've talked to you guys about a lot because it's so important for the overall bullish trend of Bitcoin moving forward. We're also going to be talking about the Federal Reserve and some major announcements that are going to be had this week that is going to directly dictate the direction of the Bitcoin market. Are we going to see this week end up being a bullish one? We're going to break it down, so make sure you guys stay all the way to the end so you don't miss out on any of this information. If you're new and just find this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos like the one provided for you here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and with that being said, let's jump right into it today. Alrighty guys, first things first, we're going to get straight into the chart of Bitcoin, then we're going to talk about the dollar a little bit, and we're going to factor in what all of this means with the news that's going to be released this week about the Federal Reserve. Now, first things first guys, the thing I wanted to start off this video with is actually how Bitcoin has finally cleared above this 50-day moving average. And that's going to be the big point that we need to focus on for now, because this is really going to show the direction that Bitcoin's going to take. Now, on the short term, I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin correct and actually come back down to about 19,500 approximately, and actually retest this moving average as support. Keep in mind, guys, that most recently this is where we just broke back above. We were closing below this as resistance. We got a fake out over here in about September. We closed back below, and we've just been kind of grinding below this resistance until most recently with our breakout. So in the shorter time frame, I wouldn't be surprised to see us come back down and retest this level back at about 19,500 or 600. And that's going to be kind of our line in the sand, and where we're going to decide the direction the market's going to take is going to be at this level. If the market kind of corrects back down here and we hold support, then that's going to set us up for another impulse that in my opinion is going to be taking us back up to these range highs. And that's going to be kind of where we're going to get confirmation of this long-term trend. Because keep in mind, guys, that our entire bear market is going to be kind of comprised around this $24,500 to $25,000 range. Because once we get above this, that's our first higher high in the new bull trend. That's a confirmed double bottom formation breakout. And that should be all we need to really get us back into new all-time highs. But the question is whether or not we're going to be able to do that. And all of that kind of starts around this 50-day moving average. If we can hold above this, then that's going to be great. But if we manage to see that the market corrects back down, we might bounce a little bit, but then we close back below this moving average, then in my opinion, that's going to set us up for a deeper correction, probably back down to at least 19,000, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this go all the way back down to about the mid-1800s and retest our range lows down here. I really wouldn't be surprised at all. Further, closing below this moving average, I wouldn't even be surprised to see that take us to one more final low on the way back down. That would take us to one more final low at the end of the year, somewhere probably around December would be my guess. But keep in mind, guys, that if we can hold above support, then that's going to be the first scenario. Because the thing is, we've been sideways for so long at this point. We bottomed in June, and so as it stands right now, we're at about 135 days inside of this consolidation. And so I don't necessarily think that this is going to be breaking down as long as we can hold above support. If we can break back below the 50-day, then in my opinion, that's where I'm going to start to flip the script. I'm going to start to say that the likelihood scenario is that we do get lower. But that was kind of what I was watching for here, and that's still what I'm going to be watching for moving forward from here. When we were below the 50-day moving average, I said that we were going to be bearish below, bullish above, and the fact that we broke back above this level, that's going to be really encouraging. So we need to see that this level holds. If we can hold, I am expecting further continuation to come, but that's what we need to see with Bitcoin. Now, when it comes to the dollar, guys, this is really important because this is kind of what I've been updating you guys with over the course of the last few months and really our entire bear market. With the dollar, this was Bitcoin's top at 65K, and this was Bitcoin's top at 69K. And we can see that the dollar's been uptrending above this 50-day moving average the entire time. There has been temporary pierces below the 50-day, but we always bounce back above. Now, guys, most recently what I was talking to you about was the fact that we were actually breaking below this 50-day moving average. And I said how it's possible that we could close below, and this is going to dictate the short-term trend of Bitcoin. If the dollar was to break back above this 50-day moving average, then we would expect that the Bitcoin market would actually come back down in a short-term downtrend. And that's kind of what we saw. In the short term, this ended up just being more of a bear trap, and we saw the market close all the way back down. But the reason why I wasn't getting too confident about this being a breakdown was the fact that we were just retesting a previous high, right, as indicated by this green line. And so I wasn't really too shaken up by this correction. Even though we were breaking below our moving average, this isn't anything that we haven't seen up to this point. We've seen it happen a number of times. So with that being said, now that we're getting back above this moving average, I wouldn't be surprised to see us kind of rally back up, get another correction and a retest above this level. But if the dollar closes above this, then that's going to set us up for another breakout, at least up to the range highs of about 114. And so that's going to be our big thing that we're watching for moving forward over the next month or so, is how prices are going to react now that we close back above this 50-day moving average. Are we going to get further continuation? Well, as long as we hold above and we're sitting on support of the 50-day, then yeah, I would expect that. But, if the market kind of starts closing here, and we close back below this, then that would set us up for another big drop, and then that really would be the top of our trend for the dollar. But keep in mind, guys, that if we go on the bigger time frames, if we do get one more impulse, that this high here at 120 is most likely where we're going to rally up to. And so we still have a couple levels that we need to watch for, but it's all kind of being decided around this 50-day moving average. Let's go to the daily time frame so you guys can see. It's all going to be decided around the 50-day moving average. If we can manage to get a solid breakdown below this, then we're going to see crypto rally. Any holding of support above this, then we're going to expect to see that this is going to rally upwards of our next high at about 120. That would be a huge move to the upside. And so it's going to be interesting to see, guys, because moving forward, if the dollar goes for one more major higher high, we go into new all-time highs once again, then it's going to be interesting to see how Bitcoin holds up inside of that. Because keep in mind, guys, so this was a low that we had in June, and so keep in mind that the dollar has been making all of these higher highs all the way up. We've made all of these higher highs, except Bitcoin itself hasn't actually broken down, and Bitcoin is just kind of trending sideways. So it'll be interesting to see if the dollar does manage to break back above and we go for one more high. Is this going to kind of resolve in the similar way that we've seen all of these higher highs have, where Bitcoin stayed sideways? Or would we expect to see, if this is going to be kind of our parabolic top for the dollar, would we expect to see one more final capitulation for Bitcoin? I'm not going to try and predict that, but what we will know is whether we close above or below the 50-day. And if we close below the 50-day, then that's going to set us up for the potential that we could see one more capitulation. But keep in mind, guys, the dollar is going to kind of impact this. And one of the big things that I'm watching for to really dictate the volatility heading into this week is the fact that we're actually going to have the potential of another Fed interest rate hike. Now, a lot of people are speculating on this. It's going to be anywhere from 50 BPS to a 70 BPS hike. And what everybody's kind of speculating upon is which one is it going to be? Is it going to be 50? Is it going to be 75? And what happens if it is 50 or 75? Well, in our last month, we actually had an interest rate hike of 70 BPS. And that was really bullish. We saw that the Bitcoin market reacted pretty positive because of that, and we actually broke above the 50-day. And so for me, what I'm watching for this week is if we can get another 75 BPS hike, then in my opinion, that should see Bitcoin actually close above the 50-day, even if we end up closing, getting a little bit more downside. If we get a 75 hike, then in my opinion, that signals that we're going to see Bitcoin close above this 50-day. But if we end up getting some more bearish sentiment where this is only a 50 BPS hike, then we could actually see Bitcoin close below this 50-day. And we could see this entire rally to the upside that we just saw get faded, and it's kind of more of a bear trap, right? And if that was the case, we would expect a deeper move like this, okay? So that's kind of what I'm watching for. If it's a 75 BPS hike, then I would expect that Bitcoin would hold above this 50-day. If it's below, if it's a 50, then I would expect the Bitcoin would probably close back below. And that's going to kind of dictate the direction the market's going to have. You know, short term, if we get another 75 BPS hike, I wouldn't be surprised to see this actually close above. And then we start to re-tackle this September high that we saw over here, and maybe even upwards of the highs that we saw here in August. That's going to be the next line in the sand that we're going to be watching for. A lot of really interesting things, a lot of big things that are going to be happening this week. I'm not trying to do a ton of trading. I'm going to wait for the market to kind of resolve itself. But anyways, guys, if you found value in this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing updates. If you guys want to join the Discord server, download my free ebook or any of that fun stuff, links are in the description for that. For the people who also like to join up for my signals, follow all the trades that I take, anything that I'm going to be doing inside of the market with my money, it all gets posted inside of my private Discord server. So if you guys want to get access to that, it's a one-time purchase, lifetime access. Links are in the description. Thank you guys so much for the support. And with that being said, I will catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.